Hey, this is Connor, back with a Chronicler, and today I'm going to do a review of The Tainted Cup by Robert Jackson Bennet. In this first video, it will just be all spoiler-free, and I'll have a separate video going over the spoilers. So diving right into this, what would I pitch this book as? Well, kind of to my friends in my book club, I pitched this as Knives Out meets Attack on Titan set in this like fungal biopunk setting. And one of my friends is like, that is a crazy description, but I still think that holds up pretty well here. So I haven't read really any of the Sherlock Holmes. Obviously there's Sherlock and Watson, the two, and then for Knives Out, it kind of has this whimsical vibe, and it's a fun mystery tale. And this is definitely that fun mystery tale, and probably a better comparison to Sherlock Holmes, because there you kind of have the pair, it's Sherlock and Watson. Here, you also have a pair. Our main character is Din, and he is this special person. I'll get more into the people in the world building part, but he's the main character that we follow, and he's an like a apprentice investigator to Anna, who is the lead investigator for a lot of the cases that we go through here, the main case, and she's also a very fun character to follow, and their chemistry is great. So you kind of have that duo that you would with like Sherlock and Watson. And then as far as the Attack on Titan thing goes, this world is constantly attacked by Leviathans. And I'm a big sucker for this like timeline where you know that you're gonna have this big kind of creature attacking this destination, this empire, at kind of set intervals. And in this case, it's during the wet season. Other things I love like this are like Pacific Rim, Neon Genesis Evangelion, and then obviously the Attack on Titan comparison. And the Attack on Titan comparison is pretty apt here because in this world, this empire, you have what they describe as kind of a bike wheel-like structure where there's tiers of walls. So there's the outermost sea walls where the creatures attack from, the Leviathans attack from during the wet seasons, and then as you move inward towards the land, there's more sets of walls to kind of secure the defense of the innermost part of the empire. So the land and the peoples living in the innermost part of the empire are the most wealthy, the most powerful, because they have the most protection, while on the outermost parts of the empire are kind of more of the lowly people. There's still powerful groups out there, powerful families and politicians and such, but generally since it's much less safe there, they don't have as many important people out there. And that's where this story takes place, is on the most outer edge of the empire. And it's kind of that bipedal structure because there's main pathways that lead from each set of the walls inwards. And there's cities and cantons, they're kind of called, where they all have their own kind of jurisdiction and stuff, but they all fall under this empire. I believe it's the Carnum Empire. And then the whole world building and setting of this is so refreshing. It's honestly probably my favorite part of the book overall. The closest thing I'd relate it to is like cyberpunk, but it's not like electronically enhanced by cybernetics. It's all like bioengineered. Everything is bioengineered to a really interesting degree. There's a lot of floral and fungal things that are modified. People are modified. There's these grafts they put onto people, and then the biggest modification a person can receive is called a suffusion, and they modify people in really significant ways. And for instance, like if you lose a limb, like a hand or something, maybe they'll have these specialized snails that can regrow your hand. So that's super fun. The main character, Din, he is a suffused person, so he's called a sublime, and the specific type of sublime he is an engraver. So engravers are modified in a way that they have perfect memory. And it's very interesting because there's no magic at all in this fantasy world. It's all this bioengineered, modified people. But you start to kind of understand the rules and balances of things. So in a way, it kind of feels like a hard magic because there's trade-offs. Din's an engraver, so he has perfect memory, but as he sees from some of the other characters, that perfect memory comes at a cost on the long term. So there's trade-offs to these abilities and suffusions that people have. Their skin grays, very heavily suffused people have purpling in their eyes and kind of like growths and stuff on them. So it's a trade-off. And among the sublimes, you have engravers, which are like memory specialists. There's axioms, which are like spatial specialists. They have like very good mathematics skills and can be used to estimate like the size of things. There's also cracklers, which are very large individuals. They've been modified for strength, and you learn about some more of these very heavily modified people later on. There's some really cool ones, like in the most upper echelons of the Empire. Outside of the kind of interesting world building here, the vibe of the book is a very nice mix of being whimsical enough, but also serious. Din is kind of this emotionally distant person, whereas Anna is a very fiery personality. She's very fun. She has very fun dialogue that's always good to listen to, and she pokes fun at Din quite a bit here and there. So it's this very nice balance that just makes the whole book a blast overall to read. It's not that long of a book either. I think it's like 130,000 words long, so probably like a 10 to 13 hour long audiobook, and obviously shorter than that if you're reading. For this one, I traded off between audiobook and then physically reading on my e-reader, and that got me through the book pretty quick. Just a quick side note on the audiobook, I think it's really solid. The narrator does a great job. He's got some great voices for like Anna and Din. I do think some of the female voices he did for characters kind of blended together a bit, but didn't mind it that much overall and found him to be a pretty solid narrator. So I definitely recommend the audiobook, and obviously I'd recommend just reading this physically as well. So this is definitely mostly focused on being a murder mystery kind of book. At the heart of it, there's this murder that happens at the very beginning that our character Din starts to analyze and give feedback to Anna. It's a very interesting relationship between the two of them because Din has this perfect memory. He does have some interesting bits that make him maybe not the best engraver ever, but he works very well with Anna, and that's part of the mystery. The characters have mystery to them as well, which makes them interesting to explore. I feel like Din, you kind of see a lot of the mysterious stuff about him explored in this book, but Anna's definitely got some other stuff going on that makes you want to read further into this series. I think it's planned to be a trilogy. But at the center of it, you have this murder mystery that grows and grows as you'd probably want it to, that really starts to encompass a lot of the powerful families, the politics of the Empire and such. So very interesting in how it evolves. And there's enough breadcrumbs here that are laid out that you can definitely start to identify maybe some of the possible suspects and things that are going on here. The book leaves enough of those breadcrumbs that you can pick it out. And when Anna kind of is the one that really solves a lot of these mysteries. She spells it out for the reader. She spells it out to Din, and she's really spelling it out for you, the reader. So when you get to those points, everything will be spelled out. You know, if you're not confident that you can unravel the mystery yourself, don't worry, she'll state everything. Which is good. You know, like I said, there's enough there that you can figure it out, and then by the end, she spells it out. Anna's a really good investigator, and I think maybe she was too good at some points, but in this first book, I'll definitely allow it. It worked out really well. But I think in the future books, I would like her to have a little bit more trouble with things, because it kind of feels like she knows all of this, but she's withholding like what she knows for the perfect time to drop the information for things to work out. But it does work out overall, and it kind of makes her more of a mysterious character to follow along with, because she has all this information that you know she's kind of withholding, and you want to learn more about her and maybe her past. I do want to get more into the relationship of Anna and Din, because what makes them such an interesting pairing is that Anna is this person that can't really go out. She becomes overstimulated incredibly easily, but she's just an expert investigator. And then Din obviously has this perfect memory, so he basically goes and surveys the scene, and then comes back to her and relays with the information, and then she just goes into her little like crazy mode and puts all the pieces together, and then she figures it out, and then she kind of relays things back to Din slowly enough to make it interesting for the reader to keep going along this journey. Theme-wise, there's some good stuff here too, as far as society molding you, or your family or those around you molding you into a specific purpose that they need, rather than having you organically grow as you might. And that's definitely seen through how people are modified biologically even. So that's a really interesting theme that's explored here. And now for the overall rating of the book, I would give The Tainted Cup an A- right now. We'll see how I feel about it at the end of the year. I'll go back and talk about all the books I rated. So we'll see how things go over time, but I really like this one. Just a super fun read. Looking forward to reading the next one. It's actually going to drop in a few days here, but I just started a really long book, so I'll hop on it at some point in the future. Looking forward to reading more of Robert Jackson Bennet's stuff, and that about covers it here for the non-spoiler part of this video. I'll upload a separate video for spoilers just to kind of help both videos out with the algorithm. That's all. Thanks for watching. I definitely want to know if you're interested in this book or if you've read it, what you think about it. So maybe leave a comment and a thumbs up, and otherwise, have a good one. Later.